So he basically says his decision is still up in the air.
It's that stupid of me. He keeps saying he likes her. She's the best thing that ever happened to him. He's appreciated. She's a great woman. But you can't make a decision.
So he sits and talks to Coach Mack again, which is his mentor, his former coach. Yeah. We've seen him talk to Coach Mack a few times. And so he expresses to him what's got him up in the air. You know, I went to school. I started my career, you know, so that I could travel later. And she's got 3 to 5 years left of school. She's getting her associates. Then she wants to get her bachelor's in nursing. Mm-hmm. She wants to pursue nursing. But she wants to be married and have kids. And he was like, you know, how is this going to happen? Like, how can I travel? And how can she travel with me? Or how can we do travel, you know, as a wife of you in school? And he was like, I'm over school. He was like, I'm not just over school for me. I'm over school for anybody. Like, I'm over school. I don't want to hear nothing about school. I don't want to go to school. I don't want nothing. So, that's what it is.
But he's so selfish. It is so selfish. You got yourself together. You got your stuff straight. You graduated school. You finished. She made it ended late. And now she wants to make a career change because the job she has is not a bad job. So she wants to make a career change, and you're so selfish with it, right? It's all about Olajuwon. I want to travel. He act like he has that much time off his job, right?
Maybe he does.
Maybe, again, no, because when he talks to Lindsay later, he talks about, you know, we got to be able to get on the same time frame. She has to adjust to my time. Well, maybe you have to adjust around her school schedule and travel. No, mean you can't travel. Even you can travel pregnant. It doesn't stop you from traveling pregnant. School is online. If she's a good student, she'll do her work ahead of time. Mm. So it's not like it can't be managed and balanced. And that's my problem with Coach Mack. Like, Coach Mack, you should have enough sense to tell Olajuwon this. Mm. He didn't say none of this stuff to Olajuwon. He kind of agreed, like, yeah, you know, you have to go where your heart goes or something like that, he said. I'm sitting here like, give the dude some sound advice. Because the advice that Coach Mack gave him, to me, wasn't sound advice at all. For this part, for Olajuwon. Like, look, tell Olajuwon it can be done. Are you willing to work with her? You're her husband, and she's not doing it all by herself. Be supportive. If she gets pregnant, guess what? You're gonna be there. Don't expect her to cook dinner, go to school, do all this, and you do nothing but say, "Hey, I work today, Katina. Let's go to the beach."
Right.
Come on, dog. It's selfishness.
Well, but Olajuwon said the other thing is too. Like, I just went through this with my ex. Her doing school while we're trying to have a relationship, and so he's like, I'm over it. And so what Coach Mack basically was like, it doesn't sound like y'all on the same page, you know, and for y'all the question should be, is she the one? That's what you're gonna have to decide. But is she the one to the point where I can, you know, bear with what she's going through? You know, does she mean enough to me that I can make a sacrifice or decide, okay, I'm gonna go walk this walk out with her?
But again,
I agree. He could have been more forthright. You know,
yes.
I agree.
But again, she's not the one that you just broke up with.
Right.
She's Katina.
Right.
She's able to handle and maneuver. In her mind, she can handle and maneuver all that's going on. She's not. So don't compare her to your ex. Mm-hmm. That's one big mistake. You compare and you put her in a box with the person that you're not with. Don't do that in relationships. Second thing is, he has to understand that it's not, again, she's not doing this by herself. Mm-hmm. And she was in school before she met you.
Right. So she's not going to stop school.
I'm not going to stop school because I married you. I was in school when I met you 2 months ago. And so I'm going to continue the process. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to finish what I started. Come on, bruh.
And so basically what he said last time and this time too is that, you know, I think she should choose her. So if I disagree with her doing married life and children and growing a career and going to school, then she should go do her. Since she's not going to stop school because I said so. Or because I feel like it's going to be too hard. That's
the stupidest thing. I'm going to break up with you because you want to go to school. I want to stop being married to you because you want to further your education. I want to divorce you because you want to do better in life. That will help us eventually to travel more. He doesn't know if she gets the nursing degree and she finished that off and get a job in nursing that she may, depends on what type of nurse she is. She can work 3 days a week and the other 2 days you have a long vacation weekend. I mean, he can't wait to see the process out if he loves this girl. Follow through the process. It's so selfish to me. He's not
he
says
it later. I don't want to jump ahead, but he says it later. When it comes to the decision, be selfish. Do what's right for Katina, and I'm gonna do what's right for Olajuwon.
But that's not where this process or this how this works.
Oh, I don't
You're not
disagree
doing
with
this
you.
for yourself because you're married. You're doing this because you really want to genuinely be with this person for the rest of your life. It's not a selfish thing. It's like I'm doing it for me, but I'm doing it for us because I love you. It goes in my whole rant later on when we talk about, because we would know the answer before we went to decision day. I'm sorry, I wouldn't play the game.
I'm not doing that.
I would know either yes or no before we even went to decision day. So it would.
I don't want to go into my rant now.
Nah, we take. I'm sorry for jumping ahead, but go in there.
Because let's brought it up. I really want to.
Let's move on.
But anyway, so we didn't see Katina talk to anybody. But we also saw Katina talk to, Olajuwon talk to Lindsay. Right. We can talk about that a little later, or we can touch on it now. But they have a little conversation.
Let's touch on it now.
Yeah, and this is proof that we know from After Party and from some of the scenes on the show that Olajuwon and Lindsay, they obviously have let bygones be bygones, and they be chatting it up and hanging out and talking. And so we see them like out at the park talking, and it's like, okay, where are you at now? And she says Mark has stepped up a lot lately. She said in them having a conversation, it's just always good to see Olajuwon, and sit and chat with him. We're very similar in our approach and our directness.
Would have been some of my kids I'd have hung out with. We was kids, we would have hung out with each other. We would have asked Olajuwon out.
And been bad. They was bad.
She would have asked Olajuwon out. She likes Olajuwon.
But yeah, she says as far as Mark, he stepped it up lately. There's more pros than cons. She said they match on faith and he's a good person and they're teams, and she trusts his advice. And what bothers her is that he talks to other people about their problems as opposed to talking to her. And Olajuwon was like, because he has to figure out what he's going to say to you first.
He has to have
because he don't want it to be more of a blow up, because you be blowing up.
Yeah, he has to have every I dotted, every T crossed, every word has to be correctly pronunciated, every word has to be correctly used correctly in the sentence, because you're going to misread everything. You're going to blow
you're going to correct him in the middle of his sentences.
Correct him and blow his spot up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that. And Mark seemed like the guy, he can't handle it because he wants to please somebody all the time. I have someone that corrects me when I mess up words. I don't mind her correcting me when I mess up words. Just don't do it in public. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Anyway, and so Olajuwon says, the cons that he sees with Katina is, here we go, he's going back to this, is life experience, that she needs to cook and stuff. And Lindsay's like, oh, she can't cook. He says she's learning to cook. She's learning. And she was like, so you want her to work and then work some more, like work her regular job and then work at home some more? And he was like, she works from home. And she was like, I work from home too. Lindsay says this. Here's some more info on Lindsay. I work from home too. And Olajuwon's like, you don't work from home like her. Like, she don't do nothing. I've watched her. She don't do nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, dog, you put her out.
She be real chill. I was like, dang.
I was like, yo, you putting out on Front Street about her job. I noticed years afterwards.
Maybe it was chill when it was in the office too.
Maybe it was chill. Maybe it was a pandemic that made it chill. Again, maybe she makes it look easy. And it is a lot of work, but she's meticulous in that it makes it look easy. He
said he's not there to be a teacher. And he says, his thing is, am I willing to travel without her? Am I willing not to travel because she can't? Yes, you should not travel because your wife can't. Or it may be some things that you could do without her.
I disagree on that one part.
No, I was going to say it may be some things you could do without her, but I don't think you should be traveling all the time without your wife.
No, you shouldn't be traveling all the time without. I mean, there might be a trip or two that you take with your boys, a trip or two you may take with yourself, and then a trip or two that you take with your wife. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes, you have to be able to balance that. And understand that there is a balance in your relationship, and that she has to finish her goals. That again, you finished yours, you achieved your goals, because you let everyone know you achieved your goals. Let her achieve her goal. Let her achieve hers, and you be the supported husband and the guy who lift her up and to help her reach her goals. Come on, man.
Yeah, Lindsay says, in this, you're just going to have to decide what's more important to you, having a wife or traveling.
Lindsay makes sense sometimes. When she
makes sense a lot of times. She's just rough and gruff.
She's rough around the edges.
Yeah. So anyway, Olajuwon and Lindsay had their conversation. So later we see Olajuwon and Katina. They go out to dinner. This is their one last date, before decision day. And he says, this one last date is important. Of course, you want to leave on a good note. The one thing I laughed about is, they scan the room and they got a bottle in there that says Married at First Sight champagne. I was like,
you gotta put the sticker label on there. They gotta advertise their own stuff.
Really?
Maybe they're selling champagne later on. That's something they want to put in the company.
Yeah, okay.
Shop.
So you talk about how the fact that, time went slow at first, but in the last few weeks, it seems like it's been going fast. But, time goes how it goes. So it's like, are there any lingering questions you have? She was like, I don't really have none. It's just our timing regarding, the future. That's the one question. Is like, what's going to happen when? How I can handle this and how you think I can handle it. If I didn't think I could handle it, I wouldn't be pursuing these goals. I can do this. And basically, like, I want you to have faith that I can do it. It's possible.
Yeah, don't foreshadow. I mean, I think he's in the foreshadowing mode. I think sometimes when you foreshadow certain situations, especially when it comes to kids, that messes up your relationship. Yeah. Because you never know when it's going to happen, or foreshadowing where I want to be in this life. There's nothing wrong with making a plan if both of y'all agree to the plan. Right now, they're both don't agree to the plan. It's Olajuwon's plan that he wants Katina to follow.
Yeah.
It's not the plan they did together.
And that's what he said. He said he doesn't really have any lingering questions. It's just that he really hopes that she can balance school and everything else. And like I said, she said before, I wouldn't do this if I didn't think I was capable of doing it. So she said, being a wife is important to her. And he's like, how so? I'm like, Dad. She's like, because I want to have a family. I want to have a partnership. It's being a wife. And he was like, but so you can't do that not being married. And she was like, I mean, you can, but eventually the goal is to go to marriage.
I didn't like the formal question.
It's like playing devil's advocate.
But yeah, I didn't like the questioning because he was questioning her like he didn't know the answer to these.
Well, no, he was questioning her like
he was interrogating.
Like, I'm about to say no, and are you saying that means we can't be in a partnership or be together?
No, when I say no? It's like what he did at the beginning when they first met. He was challenging her, testing her, whatever word he used.
Grilling her
to see what's going on. And again, he went back to testing her and grilling her here at the end to see what she was going to do. If you've been there 8 weeks, you already know her answer to this. You already know how she feels. If you've been in tune, you already know how she feels about you. That's why, don't be grilling. No, I just didn't like the form of questioning. The grilling and the form of questioning that he was doing at their last dinner to me was like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
You know this. Not that it was disrespectful, but like you asking questions that you know the answer to. You just want to hear her say it at this point.
Yeah. She was saying
for your own self confidence.
Yeah, this is different from any relationship she's been in before, and he was like, yeah, it should be, or she's like, I've never been in a marriage before like this, and he was like, I hope not. Stuff like that he was just saying. Anyway, she was like, she has strong feelings for him. It's like a natural connection. They get along. She's understanding his tough love now that he gives, but they laugh together. He agrees, yeah, we do laugh together. That's the most I ever laughed for somebody. And he said, I really enjoy you. You've caused me to learn about myself, and I feel like I've gone from a boy to a man, and that couldn't have happened without you. I appreciate you, whatever. And I was like, okay.
I put Isaac away. Man, but he means. I keep saying he means well, but he just comes off real like he needs her to stroke his ego
or something.
Yeah, he needs the pat on the back, the affirmation, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when you need it over and over again, that's a problem. So
last thing we see with them, we see them parting ways. Katina's packing her bag. He's joking about, do you need help packing your bag? Got stuff all over the place. And she was like, basically, how are you going to be at home with just your thoughts to yourself? And he was like, it gives me space and time to really weigh my decision over the last day. And she's like, you know, think about it, but like, don't get in your head too much. But he says to her, you know, when you make a decision, be selfish about it. Think about Katina, you know. I
want to add to that. She did say that at the dinner. This one point she said, maybe you made me remember. She did say, I feel I can do all this. Mm-hmm. She told him I can do all this. So
I said that, yeah.
Yeah, but again, when she told her to be selfish, she's already told you, I am going to be selfish. I can do all this, but I want you in my life.
Right.
You know, I can do all this, but I want you with me. So you don't have to tell her again to be selfish, because she already told you that she's doing what she's going to do for her, but it's also for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She says, you know, she'd be sad if she got divorced. I think she said in her vignette, you know, and they talked about it too. He was like, I'm not saying I wouldn't be sad. It might, you know, I'd be bothered, but I deal with it. But I can't say how we'll feel in that moment. But again, you know, it's like, you should do what's best for you, because I'm going to do what's best for Olajuwon. You know, be selfish, you know. And I'm just like, I don't know. So I have to park right here. Because we had the conversation, particularly when they talked about it.
Yes.
There's no way, hear me, there's no way that I'm going into decision day and I don't know what he's saying. Because on that couch, I promise you, I'll blow the spot up. I told him, I was like, now Ninja, you not getting ready to embarrass me on TV? Before we sit on this couch, tell me what you finna say. I'm going to be mad now and I'm going to be mad then. But what I'm not going to be is embarrassed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't have me on this couch. Now, Ninja, now you know. Mom was like, you would say that? Yes, I would say that. Y'all, stop. Stop. I'm not going into decision day. You're not going to throw me for no loop. It's just not going. We should have talked about this. All of these couples, I'm talking about they don't know. They on the fence. I don't know what I'm going to say. Before, okay. But on this last day, before you go to sleep somewhere else, and you would call me on the phone. We're going to talk about something. You know, I thought about it all night, and I feel like I'm going to say no. Good. Thank you for preparing me.
No, I don't need you to feel like you say no. I need a definitive answer.
No, I'm just saying, but thank you for preparing me, because had we went out on this couch and they asked me first and I say yes, and then you say no, them is fighting words.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
We're going to have some yes and some no's. So
I'm just saying.
We're going to have somebody say yes and somebody say no.
I'm just saying.
But
we're going to talk about this beforehand. You're not going to throw me for no loop. But anyway.
Yeah, I need to know.
So their conversation made us go into that conversation. I was like, no, I can't beat Keith and Iris. You're not going to embarrass me. Because she was really thinking he was going to say yes. And
no, not even Keith and Iris. I'm going to tell you, Will and
Jasmine. Will and Jasmine. Daggone Kate and
Luke.
Kate and Luke. Luke tried to ask. I was like, bro, you are not surprised. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. And he was like, oh, I guess I'm going to say no to that. You was going to say yes?
Like for what? You said she repulses you.
That's a whole no. Yep. You're not going to embarrass me. It's not going to happen. Well, anyway,